Happy Scorpio new moon, everybody. My name is Alice in Wonderland. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are doing a pick a card reading specifically for the Scorpio new moon for October 2022. We're doing things a little bit differently today. As you can see, all of the piles are similarly are almost identical. So I would recommend sticking around for a quick ASMR meditation that will help you dive deep into the Scorpio waters and connect to your intuition to see which pile jumps out at you. Each pile, like I said, is the same. They all have black obsidian chipstones in the bottom of some teacups that are filled with water. And I'd encourage you to do the meditation and do a little bit of scrying to see what kind of pops out for you, what jumps out for you, and which pile you think would be the best for you. Because that's what Scorpio and the shadow season and the thinning veil is all about. So I highly recommend that quick 3-minute meditation, but if not, you can always find the timestamps in the description below for group 1, 2, or 3. And I also recommend sticking around for the closing statement. There's also a timestamp for that below to kind of see how all of the piles kind of connected to each other, as well as a little bit more information about this Scorpio new moon that we are experiencing. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment, and let me know if your reading resonated with you, because that helps me know and it helps YouTube know that people are interested in my content. And I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a magical, majestic, magnetic Scorpio new moon. We'll see you on the other side. And just a reminder that headphones are recommended for the guided meditation because it has some ASMR experience as well. Take 3 deep breaths with me as I light these candles. So the first card for group 1 is the Seven of Poles, which corresponds to the Seven of Wands. The Two of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, and the Five of Poles. So I started out with just these four and was getting a very specific message for, or getting a lot of different messages coming through. I think some of you that have chosen group 1 are in a complicated relationship. And I think for some of you, this is about a relationship with yourself and kind of juggling this duality and recognizing at this time that it's time to let one of those personalities die, to take off the mask, to integrate the two of them, or make a decision about which one, which version of yourself do you want to put in the forefront. I also think that there is someone that has chosen this group number 1, who has recently broken up with somebody. recently broken up with somebody, and that has been a very difficult breakup, and you're having trouble letting that person go. Because there were so many messages coming through, I decided to choose some more tarot cards. And we got the World, the Two of Swords, and the Queen of Pots, who is the Queen of Cups. So I stopped here because I was getting the feeling that if I chose more tarot cards, that we would get another 2. So if your number is 2, if 222 is your number, if 22 is your number, I encourage you to look up the significance and the symbolism of 2 and the numerology of 2, because we have the Two of Pots, the Two of Two of Junk, I think is what this deck calls it, for Pentacles, and the Two of Feathers, which represents swords. The appearance of the Two of Swords is, or the Two of Feathers here in the center, confirms for me that this is about making a decision about either choosing between 2 romantic partners, choosing between different aspects of yourself and integrating those parts of yourself, especially since we are here in the Scorpio moon, which is the spooky season, shadow season. This is the time to integrate the darkness and the light together, and more importantly, like recognizing that you have a dark side and loving and appreciating it just as much as you do the light. And I think this could be a choice about, did I say that already? A choice about a romantic partner. So let's just start at the beginning here. The Seven of Poles, or the Seven of Wands, this is a card of, and this is where one of the specific messages come through. The Seven of Wands is a card of about not letting other people get you down, like staying true to yourself, sticking to your guns, and not letting what others think bother you. And I think that this is a specific message for those of you who are juggling maybe you're dating a bunch of people and you can't decide which one's for you, or you are consciously just in a relationship with more than one person. With the Two of Cups here, there is a strong connection to a person. And the reason I'm getting that there's like multiple people involved here is because of the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is about multitasking and being able to juggle and maintain both of these things. So for now, I think that this is working with having multiple partners, but eventually it's going to lead to conflict with the Five of Wands at the end here. This is a like petty, conflictive card, which kind of tells me that maybe not everybody knows about each other in this dynamic. So if you are in a situation where you have multiple partners, make sure that everybody knows about the other person so that these petty conflicts don't arise. For those of you where this is an internal struggle with integrating dualities within yourself, I think that it is time to like make a decision in regards to which one is the higher self, the one that's going to make the best choices for your highest good. And that's why we have the Two of Swords or the Two of Feathers coming in here, because we need to make a decision that is going to be the most fulfilling. With the Queen of Cups here, or the Queen of Pots, she fills her own cup before she helps others. And so this is about making the decision that is going to fulfill you emotionally. It's not going to drain you. It's not going to cause this petty conflict. It's not going to be drama city. This is about integrating, whether this is a partner, making a decision of choosing between multiple partners, or if this is about choosing which piece of yourself is going to be the dominant piece of yourself, the one that is fulfilling you emotionally for the highest good of everybody involved. That is the decision that you need to make, and that is going to bring you to this World card. The World card is getting to this point of completion and integration, and everything is balanced and whole and good. So this is about making a decision for your highest good, whether this is a partnership, a business partnership, a romantic partnership, or the deepening the relationship and the connection to yourself. So since we have a lot of different directions that we're going here, I kind of selected the oracle cards to be pieces of guidance for us. So we have the Lamp, Remembrance, Forgiveness, Releasing Burden, Black Cat, Fortune Meets Opportunity. So the Lamp and Remembrance is speaking to, because this is a Halloween deck, this is speaking to remembering your loved ones that have passed, remembering your ancestors. And I think that this really brings in the breakup as well. If any of you have experienced a breakup or a loss recently, this is about illuminating that darkness. Grief is such a dark period of time, and this is about finding the light in that darkness and getting down, shedding and releasing all of the negative things that you may have had with that past loved one or with the past relationship, and just kind of letting those layers fall away, because at the core of everything there is some good, despite how anybody has ever treated you. And I'm not saying that it was okay that anybody was treated wrong, but just getting down to the core of things and recognizing that we're all human and we all make mistakes. Some of them are really bad mistakes, but we have to illuminate the good things. Think of that past person, whether they are not in this 3D world anymore, or if they still are. This is about remembering the good times, remembering the love that you had for them, and illuminating that darkness. And in the center here especially, we're illuminating that goodness so that we can forgive. And when we have the forgiveness card come up, it's really important that you forgive yourself, especially when it comes to relationships. We both play a part in it. It takes two people to tango, and unfortunately that goes with the bad things as well. We do things that kind of feed into that negativity when we're feeling vulnerable and being defensive. So you may not have said kind things, you may not have done kind things, and this is about forgiving yourself so that you can move on. Because if you are holding this resentment and feeling negative towards anyone else or yourself, you're only hurting yourself. By feeling resentment towards somebody else isn't doing anything to them. It's not affecting them. The only person it's affecting is you. So we have to forgive them, forgive ourselves, so that we can move on. And that's when the good things are coming in. That's when this fortune and this completion and this feeling of wholeness and recognizing that you learned your lessons from the past, and that's when good things start to come in, especially when we start clearing away the darkness and the negativity. That's when there's room for good things to come in. We also have this card, Dark Moon, very fitting for this beautiful Scorpio moon. So Dark Moon, and we have the veil in reverse. I'm going to show it to you upright just so that you can see. When the veil is in reverse, know that there are truths that are being concealed. There are some things about your situation that have not come to light, and now is not a good time to make a decision. You are going to need to wait until you have more information. There could also be some people who are not being completely honest with you. Trust your intuition. The first person you thought of is likely the one holding back from you. Be watchful and keep your ears open to inconsistency until you know more. The veil is about revealing the truth. Slipping at this time of year, especially as we get closer to October 31st and November 1st, the veil between the worlds, the veil between the other side is very thin. But this veil card can also represent revealing the truth about something. So maybe it's about bringing to light this shadow side of yourself, or this is about being open and honest with all of your romantic partners, so that they know about each other, so that we're not creating conflict and we're just being honest and truthful. It's okay to love more than one person, and in fact it happens more frequently than it's not just people that are in open relationships that experience feelings for other people, and these feelings can mean totally different things. These could be even just running into somebody at the grocery store where you just feel why do I feel like I know that person? We have these connections with people from past lives, and you can love somebody without being romantic with them. And I think in our society, we think we're only supposed to love one person, and you can love everybody. We need more love in the world. It doesn't have to be sexual or romantic, and it doesn't have to be hurtful and deceiving. Just be open and honest. Reveal the truth. Reveal all sides of yourself. This card also points out something that I think also refers back to the Two of Swords that we received earlier. The Two of Swords is usually depicted of a woman wearing a blindfold. So I think it's really important for you to take your blindfold off before you make a decision about something, or before you move forward. So using this new moon to find the truth, reveal the truth, take your blindfold off is going to be really important for those of you that selected this pile. So with the Dark Moon card, I mean, that is why I love following the moon, because the new moon every month gives you a clean slate and a fresh start. If you are holding the Dark Moon card, know that there is always a chance to start again. Your situation may seem like the end of the road, but it is not, especially for those who know the power of spirit. You must have hope even when things seem too hard to bear. There is always a new moon just a few weeks away, and there is always a new opportunity waiting for you as well. It may not come as quickly as you like, but hope is a powerful force and will set things in motion for you. So start this new moon cycle with integrating your dark and your light, with forgiving and healing and lighting the way out of the darkness, and start fresh. Use this shadow season to release all these layers that you don't want anymore, and bring the true you to the light. Forgive the past so that good things can come your way. Happy new moon, Group 1. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your support. Hello, Group 2, and happy new moon. First card is the Page of Pots in reverse. I'll show him to you upright first of all. A little cutie guy. The Hierophant. Hoggle. The World. And the Eight of Pots, or the Eight of Cups. So this message was very straightforward. Those of you that chose Group 2 is not paying attention to your intuition, or receiving signs but not listening. This is about blocked intuition, not recognizing the signs or symbols that are being sent to you, or just kind of avoiding or ignoring your intuition, even though you might feel a connection to it, but refusing to look at it. What's the word I'm looking for? Accept it. And you are being called to get committed, get connected, and dedicate yourself to a regular spiritual routine. With the Hierophant here, this is about tradition and being strict with your spirituality on a spiritual level. And this is a big moment for you. This is going to be a life-changing moment once you dedicate yourself to your craft, to your spiritual practice, to your intuition, to yourself. Dedicate to your highest self for the highest good. This is going to bring you to a wholeness and a completion, and the world. This is like so clear and so precise. Like some of the other readings were just like a bunch of different messages. This is one direct message of getting connected to your intuition and remaining committed and to your spiritual path. And this is going to lead you not only to the completion, but feeling confident and comfortable enough to walk away from something. The Eight of Cups is turning your back on something, but knowing that it's the right thing to do and walking away. So because this was a very specific message, we just simply asked the oracle cards for some guidance, and we have the Witch, the Earthly Weaver of the Worlds, Lady de los Muertos, acceptance and equality, and the lamp, remembrance. So again, a very clear message here. The witch, this is you dedicating yourself, committing yourself to your spiritual path. Maybe this is a pagan path, a Wiccan path, a witchy path, whatever it is, whatever your spiritual practice is, even if it's even if it's Christianity, you're trying to navigate and figure out how to blend your religious upbringing with your newfound spirituality. And this is about sticking to it, dedicating yourself to it, with Lady de los Muertos in the center here. This is about accepting yourself for who you are, recognizing your intuition and believing it and trusting it. And this Lady de los Muertos is also about not worrying about what other people are thinking, accepting everybody for who they are. I know personally I'm just going to share this message because I think when my spirit guides remind me of my own personal journey and memories, I think it's like important for somebody to hear. Like, for me, my spiritual practice has always been very private and intimate, and I don't really let that many people in. But I do admit to, in the past, of like trying to get my non-witchy friends to be like to practice witchcraft with me, and it's not really their thing, but you just like, you want to like have somebody to share like something that you're really excited about and to share your experiences with. So I mean, it's not for everybody, and accept your non-witchy friends for who they are, and just ask for that in return. You can only give out or you can only receive what you put out. So accepting everybody and making sure that your spiritual path is fair and just and equal, that we're not taking from other traditions without respect, and getting real information from sources that come from those cultures. But this is for those of you that chose group 2, this is really about just like, and this is also about saying goodbye to that past person. And with the lamp here, this is about illuminating the good things from your past and accepting them for what they are, and bringing forth the good parts, like bringing the good things with you, and letting go of the bad, the difficult, or the negative that you've had to overcome. And just moving forward, like accepting who you were and allowing that to become who you are now. The other messages that we have here are coming of winter, and intuition in reverse. I'm going to show it to you upright. These white faces don't focus very, there we go. I just wanted you to see her face with her third eye there, and she's coming to us in reverse, and is I think reaffirming the Page of Cups in reverse here. So this is like a big message to stop ignoring your intuition. I also feel like with the coming of winter, that this might be like the Halloween spooky season is going to be your like out of the closet kind of debut of your witchy side, and like really dedicating yourself. And a lot of witches do start their year and a day on November 1st or the 31st. So this might be your like actual dedication and commitment, especially with the Hierophant here. And the winter season might just be this like hibernating, integrating kind of time for you. I feel like when these time frames come up, that can be like a significant factor for some of you. When the winter winds blow into your spread, it is time for self-reflection. Failure to learn from your experiences often causes the repeat of mistakes. It's time to review the choices you've made without the opinions of others. What choices make your heart happy? What choices left you numb or lacking in inspiration? What is holding you back, and what resources could you use more of? Use the answers to these questions like these to get a better understanding of what truly makes you happy and to form a plan to start shifting your life towards the image of your choosing. This card comes with a message of rest. The world will wait for you. Give your mind, body, and soul time to be still. Taking time to recharge is not laziness. It is the choice of supporting yourself. You'll have more strength, energy, and focus to devote time to things you love when you are rested. When intuition is in reverse, you may be spending too much time in the clouds. Deepening your intuition is an important step, but don't spend every moment visualizing without taking any action. Spending too much time working on your intuition without grounding can leave you feeling disconnected from your day-to-day life. I just can't get over the significance of having the reverse Page of Cups in this reading as well. So the imagery of these cards in reverse really does put your feet up in the air and like feeling like just totally ungrounded. It's so important to connect to the earth, especially with the coming of winter card also present here, is to connect and tether to the earth so that when we're exploring our intuition, the messages are heard clearly and they're not overwhelming and they're not making you feel disconnected. You're receiving these messages in a very connected way. So overall, group 2, I think that it's really important that you're setting intentions around connecting to your intuition and your spiritual path, to be willing to walk away from things that aren't serving your highest good, and to be out and proud with your spirituality, at least for the spooky season. And if you need to like go within and hibernate a little bit on this, to kind of integrate and figure out who your highest self wants to be respected, or how your higher self wants to be expressed, using the winter months for that time of integration and hibernation, but really just at the very least dedicating to your intuition and your spiritual path, and coming up with some sort of routine or ritual that you can do daily, which could be as simple as lighting a candle every night, or pulling a card every morning, or meditating for at least 5 to 8 minutes a day, and really picking something that you can do every day to show your commitment and your dedication. Happy, beautiful Scorpio new moon, friends. I hope you have a wonderful, magical time. Hello, group 3, and happy new moon. First card we have here is the Hanged Man. This is one of my favorite characters from the Labyrinth movie, so I'm so happy that he came out to play today. The Ace of Feathers, which is the Ace of Swords. The Page of Pots. And the King of Feathers, the King of Swords. He comes to us in reverse, but I will show him to you upright. The beautiful owl there. So, first things first is we need to gain a new perspective. the Hanged Man hangs upside down, so he can literally see things in a different way. This is about changing your mind on something, specifically because we have the Ace of Feathers here, which is the Ace of Swords. So you need to hang upside down, look at some situation, or just enter into this next moon cycle a little more lighthearted and not taking things so seriously, especially because we have the King of Swords in reverse here. This is, I think this whole moon cycle and what you should be setting your intentions around is looking at things differently, and mostly from a intuitive perspective with the Page of Pots, which is the Page of Cups here. Instead, I think that those of you that chose this pile are a very wise person, and you have a lot of wisdom, you know a lot, but it's caused some disconnect with your feelings, your emotions, and your spirituality and your intuition. So we really want to change your perspective, start looking at things from a more emotional, spiritual standpoint than a airy, wisdom, mental thinking sort of standpoint. And I think you're going to be surprised that that is going to bring new thoughts and new ideas into your life. So let's get some guidance from the oracle cards. We have ancestors, the love and legacy of your DNA. I love this image. I love all the artwork in this deck, actually. Skeleton, strength. And Lady de los Muertos, acceptance and equality. So I think a lot of this is coming back to the tarot cards. I think, well, first of all, we're in shadow season, the veil is thinning, and the closer we get to Halloween or Dia de los Muertos or All Hallows Eve, whichever you celebrate and or want to call it, is going to give us a stronger connection to our ancestors. And this, I think, will make you a little more humble. And I don't want to be calling you out here, but the cards are calling you out. When we have the King of Swords in reverse, this is somebody who is very wise, but they're holding their wisdom over other people and maybe being a little bit judgmental and looking down on people because they're not as smart as you and they don't know everything as you. And that's why you're being asked to have this different perspective. I believe that for you, those of you that chose this card specifically should take some time to think about your ancestors, connect with your ancestors, and also remember just everything that they have been through. And I don't just mean grandparents, parents, grandparents, and even great-grandparents. I mean the people that are 3 to 4 generations back and continuing back have gone through so many hardships that we can't even fathom what that kind of life would have been like. So connecting with your ancestors in a way kind of always makes you very humbled and appreciate what you do have, and that the reason you are so wise is because of them who came before you. And I mean, this is the perfect time of year to be connecting with ancestors. I think that would be a really good exercise. If you don't already celebrate All Hallows Eve or Dia de los Muertos, I think that would be something important for those of you that chose this pile to do this season, if you don't already, because I think it's going to make you humble. And skeleton in the center here, speaks of strength. And I love this card so much because we often think of like muscles, like strong muscles, as being strong, but muscles don't actually do anything to support, well, they do, they support the body, but it's really the skeletal system that is supporting the body. The muscle's job is to move it. A skeleton would not be able to move without muscles, despite what Halloween-y animated movies will show you. Skeletons' bones can't move without muscles. So muscles' jobs are movement, and the skeletal system is for support. So this is strength and support. I really love this card because it speaks to that. And when we think of a skeleton without its muscles and without its skin, this is showing vulnerability. And I think that this is a really important message for those of you that chose this card with this King of Swords in reverse, is that it's okay for you to be vulnerable. It's okay for you not to know everything. And this also brought up kind of a realization for me as I was pulling these cards, is we say so much fake it till you make it in our society, and I used to live by that motto. As someone who suffers from anxiety, that was sometimes the only way that I could get through the day, is to just pretend, to fake it until I made it. And that's how I started my business. That's how I got my business to be successful. I faked it until I made it. And I really just pretended to be a successful business owner, and then it just finally happened. But then when 2020 hit, it was all too much and overwhelming. I couldn't fake it anymore. I couldn't pretend that everything was fine when everything was literally crumbling beneath me. So the many lessons that I learned through 2020, one of them was to not have fake it till you make it be your motto. It's okay to show some vulnerability every now and then. And that is one of the things that I really try to be transparent with my channel, because of those lessons that I've learned from faking it until I made it. I need to be a human being on top of as well as a business owner. I can't do everything all by myself. I can't, and I can't know everything. Like in the spiritual community, when I was first entering the spiritual community and training in the early 90s or in the late 90s, you had to have this certificate and you had to have that educational background to be a holistic healer, or to even promote yourself as something like that. Whereas nowadays it's more accepted to be an intuitive healer and that sort of thing, which is wonderful and great. But I had to get all the certifications, and I had to prove, hey, I have the educational background with this. And I think that those of us that did that paved the way for new people to come in to be intuitive healers and not have to have that formal education. But I think that, speaking of education and being wise, it's okay to not know everything. It's okay to simply say, well, that's out of my scope of practice, or that's something I'll have to do research on. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the expert of everything. You can still be strong and show your vulnerability at the same time. And like, all of the messages here are asking you to not be that person who knows everything all the time. Like, be humble. Remember the people that came before you and allow yourself to be a little bit vulnerable. And the Lady de los Muertos that's coming up, I think for you, this message has come up for a different group as well. I think it was group number 2. So you might want to check. There's been a lot of multiple cards, so we're going to have a very, very similar collective message at the end here. But this is acceptance and equality. So accept your flaws for what they are and integrate them, or in this case, let them die, so that you can shed some skin and transform this new moon cycle. And you can still be wise and smart and know your stuff, but gaining this different perspective, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and humble, is going to allow new things to come in, and also reconnect you to your intuition. That's really important, to be connected to your higher self. Which, speaking of, we haven't even gone through all the cards yet. Speaking of, we also have intuition here. So the intuition plus the Page of Cups, they're basically the same card. Well, I guess this intuition card would be Page of Cups plus High Priestess. So you're really being called to kind of like take a step back from your throne as the king of knowing it all, and connect to your intuition and your higher self. We also have the Healer, and it's coming to us in reverse. So if you are somebody in the spiritual community that is used to taking care of everybody else and knowing how to fix everything, knowing how to solve every problem, and healing everybody else, it's time for you to take a step back and heal yourself as well. The Healer needs healing too. And with all of this intuition going around in this reading, I think you probably already know that. You are being asked to develop your second sight further when you are holding the intuition card. You must learn to navigate the world through your spiritual GPS rather than relying on your rational mind to show you the way. The ego plays an important role, but should be guided by your intuition, the higher self. The ego and your intuition should work together to help you approach life through both logic and feeling. There is nothing in this life that can't be accomplished with one or the other. Your intuition is your driver, your ego is the car. Both are needed to get to your destination. So it's time for you to really develop your intuitive gifts and allow yourself to heal, and that's going to bring something new forward for you. And the Healer card was also speaking to cleanse and clear negative energy. The Healer needs healing to recharge. So group 3, I recommend setting some intentions around taking time out for self-care to connect to your intuition, and allowing yourself to not know everything. Oh, and also connecting with your ancestors. Allowing yourself to not know everything. Not everybody can know everything. And this gives you a beginner's mind, a curious mind, and that's how you like get inspired to learn new things too. So if any of you are feeling kind of like bored because you know everything, like find that curiosity again and look at things from like a beginner's mind, so that you get re-inspired and you want to like learn more, because life is a never-ending school, never-ending healing, or never-ending learning journey. So happy new moon, group 3. Please stick around for the closing statement if you would like to. Thank you so much for being here. Hello everybody, thank you for sticking around and hanging out with us. So these readings were all very similar. If you felt called to more than one, I highly recommend going and checking out the other one that you felt called to, or if you were kind of torn between all 3 of them, watch all 3 of them, because there were so many multiple cards here. Like, we can just do a reading based on the cards that were in every group. So first of all, I think that this Scorpio new moon, which is also a solar eclipse, by the way, solar eclipses bring things from our subconscious to the surface. A solar eclipse is when the sun is being eclipsed. The sun is being blocked by the moon. So we have, let's do this. Let's say, so this is the sun, this is the moon, and let's pretend that this is Earth. So when we have a solar eclipse, the sun is right here, the moon passes in between the Earth and the sun. So we're not able to receive light from the sun during that time. So the moon that represents our emotions is blocking the sun, the light, the thing that keeps us warm. So our emotions, our subconscious emotions, are rising to the surface and blocking the light. So these are things that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, might be part of your shadow. These are the things that are rising to the surface. You know what? I'm not sure which one of these is supposed to be new moon and full moon. I guess this one is full, so we'll keep the new moon on there. So the reason I point that out, that the moon represents our emotions, this is also our spirituality and the water element and our connection to the divine. The reason I bring that up is because multiple piles received this intuition card. It was in the second and third groups, and okay, I guess it was the second and third ones that were the most similar, because we also saw the Page of Cups in multiple groups as well. And now the Page of Cups is a card that is having something, it's usually someone holding a cup with a fish jumping out of it. So this represents like something from the subconscious level, like appearing out of nowhere. Or this can also represent something being offered to you from spirit, from the divine, that seems to appear out of nowhere. In a couple of these groups, like one of them was, we saw the Page of Cups in reverse, and one of them we saw it upright. So the difference between those two is some of us are ignoring our intuition, and some of us are so lost in our intuition that we're forgetting to get grounded and appear in this physical world that we live in. It's really important to stay grounded and connected when we are exploring our intuition, and especially this time of year when we're exploring beyond the veil. When the veil is thinnest, we're able to access things from the other side. For example, our ancestors with the Dia de los Muertos, and this card did appear multiple times as well. So she was in the second and third group. So I guess it was, I was thinking they all were very similar, but I guess it was mostly the second and third groups that had very similar cards. And Lady de los Muertos says acceptance and equality. So this is allowing others to explore their spiritual side and their intuition, and that it's okay if it's different from yours. There is no one right way to be a spiritual person. There's multiple ways to contact the divine, connect to spirit, and everybody is going to have their different methods of exploring that. Everybody's going to have their different clair abilities. For some people it's going to be seeing, some people it's hearing, some people it's feeling, and actually tasting and smelling as well. So everybody's going to have a different experience and a different way of going about their spirituality. So I think that's a really important message for all of us, to like not be poo-pooing on someone because they don't connect to spirit the way you do, or they don't cleanse the way you do, or they don't ground the way you do. It doesn't mean that they're doing it wrong, and it certainly doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong either. It just means we all have a different way of hearing how spirit connects to us, or how spirit is communicating with us. And that is present with this lamp card as well. This card signifies remembrance and honoring the light and the good in things. But I feel like the presence of this also has that representation of the hermit. And the hermit is the one that is lighting the way. I think those of you that are in this community enjoy my channel. We are the trailblazers. A lot of times that gets lonely, and we want to find ways that we can connect and relate to people, and oftentimes that means dimming our spiritualities, putting our mask on, and not really being our true and authentic self out of this desire to connect with people. And this new moon is really kind of screaming at us to be the trailblazers, be the ones that are lighting the way for others. Just because you feel like you have to be, look, or act a certain way because that's what society tells us to, when you are standing and being your authentic self, someone else is going to see that and be encouraged to be their authentic self too. So by being the weirdo, being the different person, being the one that's standing there alone, shining that lantern, shining that light, you're a beacon and a lighthouse for others to do the same, and to find somebody that is just as similarly weird as you are. This is also a completion for a lot of us with the appearance of the World card multiple times. And just because this is the Labyrinth deck, and the Labyrinth is representative of the World card here, I just think that this is another example of everybody's path is different. We're all going to get to the Goblin King's castle. It's just we might take a few different turns here and there. And sometimes the path that you're on is going to be windy and feel like you're going the wrong way. But I think we're all kind of encouraged to explore this darkness, even if it feels like the wrong way. Break out your lantern, light the dark, explore this darkness, and maybe you'll find a shortcut through there, or maybe you'll find a gift or more guidance and encouraging you to be on the path. So the main message for group 1 is about integrating all aspects of yourself. The new moon in Scorpio gives us this opportunity to explore our dark side, explore the different natures of ourself, explore the duality, and integrate them, make them one, so that you're not flip-flopping, wishy-washy. That may have been the group that had the reversed Page of Cups, I don't remember. But that image of the flip-floppiness, like showing one side to only this group of people and showing the other side to another group of people, made me think of, if the Page of Cups was in reverse, then that fish that's usually in the cup is like flip-flopping around on the ground and feeling like a fish out of water, because like you're not integrating all these parts of yourself. So group number 2, the big message for you is to be proud and stand in your authenticity. Be the witch that you know you are, and let your witch flag fly. Stop pretending. Connect to your spirituality, and be the person that you know is so true to you. And group number 3, the main message was to let your intuition take control and put ego aside. But it's really important for you to get grounded. When we are stuck in the air element and trying to explore the water element, we're like a windy, chaotic ocean. We need to ground, drop our anchor, and so that we're able to navigate with some sort of a leash and a tether, so that we don't fly away in the chaos. So just for the new moon in Scorpio in general, I hope that you guys feel like you're able to navigate this darkness and feel safe about it. So make sure that you're putting up your protection wards before you do any scrying or connecting to the other side. Protection, protection, protection has been a really big message in private readings, in my own personal readings. Like, I feel like my spirit guides are like screaming at me, protection, protection, protection. So make sure that you are cleansing and releasing things that aren't yours, putting up a protective circle anytime you're doing any divination or spiritual work, and to trust your guides, trust your intuition, so that we don't get lost in that darkness. I think that's all I have to say about that. I hope that you have a very, very magical new moon in Scorpio, and I will see you on the other side.